Manifested consequence is and has been the reality of and has no change as a continuation within repetitive cycles, creating and manifesting the same shit over and over and over again. Change that is real is change that is lived as self in and as the physical, that can stand eternal and that is equal and one for all beings, that all beings can be and stand equal and one within and as that change that is in fact best for all. This is the change we're bringing forth through the process of inversion and self-responsibility within the manifestation of and as actual real karma, where each one walk the stop and change from the system to life within a principle that is best for all, equal and one, a point that'll stand eternal. This can only will be done through taking responsibility. Destiny assist and support with the practical living tools and support within and as and during this process of inversion, in facing self, through and during facing self, within and without, stop, stand up and change as a point that will stand and live eternal, within and as what's best for all. And so we change ourselves in this world through self-responsibility, and all taking self-responsibility together, equal and one. I mean, understand, consequence didn't go anywhere. Just because we hadn't yet paid for and faced our own creation of and as consequence does not mean it does not exist. Oh, it does. And it has been accumulating and building all this time, where we're now at the stage of life or death in terms of whether we're going to see ourselves through the consequence, stand up and take self-responsibility, or fall and give up or give in. With the manifested consequence having gone to such an extent that if you don't face yourself within and as it, you cannot exist or continue existing. Because the manifest consequence is all and everything of and as you as system, is what you are, is what you exist as. It's all that you are in this current moment. And if you want to live, be life, and so in fact be alive, a life, living here equal and one with and as what is real, living in fact as through and within the physical, you have to face, walk through, and stand up from the manifested consequence as self that you are and have become, and birth self within and during this process. So, manifested consequence. The consequence we have created and manifested through and as our participation and living as a mind consciousness system has continued to accumulate and build within and throughout the world, the physical. As the memories of our life experiences in this world layered itself within the physical reality, as physical reality, and started shaping and manifesting itself equal to and one with the consequence outflows of and as all of our actions within thought, word, and deed, together, equal and one. So what this world, this physical reality, in fact is all of our manifested consequence. This was created, manifested, and designed by all of us together through and as the unified consciousness field that unified all our minds together as one. And in that unification, we lived out our minds together, life after life after life, as our thoughts, words, and deeds within and as this world within the unified consciousness field. And so together created, designed, and manifested the consequence that is the current state, existence, and functioning of and as this world on this earth. Therefore, in process, responsibility is towards self as all, as everything that is here, as this physical reality, as this world is self and is of self. And we created, designed, and manifested everything to be and exist as it does through our accepted and allowed manifested consequence that's been accumulating and building, for which we hadn't yet taken self-responsibility. See, within the unified consciousness field, due to the interconnection through and as the unconscious mind. Consequence in the form of energy was channeled and redistributed through and as the unconscious into the unified consciousness field and or heaven to always keep the energy within and on earth and heaven balanced. See, consequence is energy. Consequence is what is created, generated through and as one's mind consciousness system in participation within and as the mind consciousness system. So, consequence is all of one's thoughts, words, and deeds that generate energy as a manifested resonant part of self that resonates through the physical into reality. This resonance that form as energy outflow manifestations of thoughts, words, and deeds create consequence as the outflow manifestation of one's participation in and as the mind consciousness system. Now, previously within the unified consciousness field, the consequence each human being created through participation in and as the mind consciousness system was redirected and channeled as energy through, into, and as their unconscious mind and used or utilized in various different ways, such as fueling heaven with energy, charging the unified consciousness field, balancing life designs, where some would power up so much consequence as energy, but would have to remain within their positions within the grid line, because they stood in important positions in the world system, for example. And to ensure their energy do not create or manifest consequence in their own life design, their energy would be channeled into other human beings' life designs. And so, everyone's manifested consequence was redistributed, channeled, and directed into, as, and through the unified consciousness field and existence, so that human beings and the world system would function according to the pre-programmed life designs, and the consequence that was created through energy would not interfere too extensively with the already pre-programmed manifested life designs in, as, and of the mind consciousness system of each human being in this world system. And so, in essence, everyone's manifested consequence creating, manifesting, and designing this world as it is today with and as humanity. So, it's definitely not that manifested consequence did not exist and that we're not going to pay for it or face it. Oh, we are, and we're in it right now, this world, this physical manifested reality. Alright, so now that we've got a starting point for and of ourselves in relation to how we got ourselves to where we are within who we are in this existence, in relation to ourselves and this world within the context of responsibility, let's now have a look at what's happened to karma or responsibility within the manifestation and process of and as inversion. Karma as it should have been now exists as the manifestation and process of and as inversion, where you will now in fact experience yourself within and face directly your own creations within and without. Karma is now in fact a reality for each one individually, where you will answer to you, yourself, within and as all that you have thought, done, and spoken, within as and during this life that you are now experiencing and living in this world or reality. So each one face themselves in all that they are and have become, in and out, within and as this one life only. And so we have this one life only to see this process through in preparing and establishing heaven on earth. If you don't make this one life, it's done. You're finished and your time is up. So, what is this manifestation and process of inversion, and what does it mean for self exactly? With the removal of the soul construct and the process of reincarnation and the unified consciousness field along with it, which was but mere interdimensional systems of energy with no reality or actuality in and as this actual physical manifested existence. All that remained within the interdimensional existence was us, with ourselves. And what was here as this existence, the existence that was created, designed, and manifested together, equal and one, through and as our manifested consequence. So we were literally left with only ourselves and what was here as existence that we created, designed, and manifested together. So obviously what we're going to be facing is ourselves in, as, and through our manifest consequence as existence itself. The same goes for human beings. With the end of the soul construct, reincarnation, and the unified consciousness field, all that remained within this physical manifested reality was and is human beings with themselves in this world that was created, designed, and manifested through and as the manifested consequence of and as altogether equal and one. What this means is that within physical reality, this physical manifested world, all the manifested consequence of and as all our past lives is already here in relation to how we exist, function, and experience ourselves within this world as individuals and humanity together of and as the world system. So, in terms of facing the manifested consequence of and as our past lives, we'll do it here in practical physical living in this world, in having to walk through, stand up within, stop and change the current functioning existence and experience of ourselves and all in, as, and of the world and the system as a whole and everything and all that form part of it and exist in it. So in terms of self, what requires to be faced to be or become self-realized as an actual being here, to start or begin the process of establishing equality and oneness with and as existence as a whole, in, as, with, and through the physical, is facing, standing up from, stopping, and changing self as the mind. As all and everything of and as self has accepted and allowed self to be, become, and do within, during, and through this one life. Your past lives you face as you walk in and through this world. And now you have to face this life while facing your past lives through transcending the mind and walking into, as, and with the physical. So you'll be facing your past lives as you're walking the world, and you're facing this one life as you're walking yourself, as your mind consciousness system. To so establish you as a point, as the point in and as this existence, as you, that will from transcending the mind and being here equal to and one with the physical, start the process of bringing all parts of existence as you back to here, the physical, as equality and oneness. So, you've got to walk through the mind, bring all parts of self within, back to self here, before you can start bringing all parts of self without back to self here. Fortunately, we only have one mind. This one mind you face as you within yourself is a manifested representation of you as a being that existed within existence throughout time. As I said, most beings here now live the same cycles of lives over and over and over again. So all that parts of you of mind as the mind is and always has been the same. No one and nothing has really changed much. We've always been the same, done the same. I mean, this world is an example of that. No one and nothing ever really changed. So, with facing the mind, bringing all parts of self back to self here internally, in and as the physical, and establishing self here as the point within existence as self, you walk the same process without, as bringing all parts of self back here to the physical, to self, as all, as one, as equal, it all starts with self. So the process of inversion is the process of responsibility, of self-responsibility, where each one now in fact face themselves, within and without, as the selves we've created, manifested and designed within this one life and throughout time. And we walk the process of bringing ourselves back to here, to equality and oneness, both within and without, in facing the mind as self and the world as self. With the soul construct, reincarnation and unified consciousness field no more existing, reincarnation has ended. You now really only have this one life to get this done. The birthing of children is the birthing of one's individual and existential consequence, in fact, as what is birthed is the manifested consequence of an as self that can be faced and changed through the children as the future as self. The unified consciousness field no more exists, and so human beings' mind consciousness system are no more interconnected or unified through and as the unconscious mind into and as the unified consciousness field. With this, each human being's mind consciousness system has been inverted, where manifested consequence is no more channeled or redirected into and as the unconscious mind, into and as the earth or world through the unified consciousness field. But the manifested consequence as consequence you manifest through and as the participation in and as the mind consciousness system in all that you are and do in thought, word and deed is inverted into and as self, into one's own physical and reality or world. And literally everything that you are and do in thought, word and deed manifest now into and as self and self alone, back into self as an instant immediate reflection of an as self, to be accordingly faced, walked through, stood up from and changed. And so each one is now in fact responsible for themselves within every single thought, word and deed, within and as every moment of breath, and within the phase of existence where each one will decide their own life or death. And this, here, the manifestation and process of inversion, where each one now will experience and face their very own created manifested consequence, while simultaneously facing and walking through the manifested consequence of ourselves as the past, manifested as this world as it exists in this moment. Thank you.